Hi, welcome to Grace Place Farm and Gardens. My name is Mason Prescott, and this is the Build Your Own Farm Store series. Really excited today. We made it to episode 12. We're going to be talking about everything. We're recapping it all. We're back here with James, so get ready, buckle up, and let's get into it. All right, so today we're sitting down again with James. Welcome back, James. Excited to have you. And something James once told me many, many years ago when I first met him is, Mason, I live for the debrief.
I love debriefing.
So today we're gonna debrief. We're gonna talk about the project start to finish, some lessons that we learned, some wins, maybe some losses, a couple things you guys should be considering. It was just kind of like a final, hey, so what do I finally really need to know or like grasp? Any other final pieces, advice that we can give? This is the episode. So thank you for joining us on this journey. And yeah, let's get right into some of our lessons learned. So what were some of the things that come to mind, James? Just like initial, like, oh, I wish we had done this differently. Or like, oh, if I had to go back and change it, I would, but we're still moving forward.
Preparing myself internally. I wish I had thought through how big of a project this was going to be. It seems so simple at first, like get a shed, open it up, and customers will come and it's going to be easy.
Yeah, very simple on paper.
It was always more complicated than I expected. And that wasn't a bad thing. I think it was reality hitting the dream and then persevering to see it come to pass. So the zoning, the construction process, building the foundation, what it takes to get a shed actually insulated and weatherproofed in conditions like ours. It's an involved project, and I would go back and just warn myself, this is probably going to take longer than you think, but it will be so worth it.
I think for me, I remember the times we were going through zoning and having to go, okay, how do I zone anything? And what does that look like to have a building inspector come out to check on the farm store and the structure, and having to make adjustments and changes, and everything seemed great and fine. It was like, oh, no, you actually missed this. That for me was, I remember a challenging part of going to go, oh yeah, in terms of like being prepared and like making sure like, oh, I'm checking all the right boxes. So yeah, be informed. That was definitely a piece that, yeah, I would agree with that. I think another thing we talked about also was honestly just the scale and size as well of the actual shed we purchased.
Right.
That we, after looking at it, we probably could have very easily gotten a larger shed for very comparable or similar cost.
Exactly.
And I think after we put the refrigerators, the freezers, the shelving in it, we kind of went, whoa, this actually took up a lot more space. So if you have the capacity, the ability to map that out in advance, or maybe actually get to walk around in some prefabricated sheds, or maybe you're building something on your own, whatever it may be, give it a shot. Make sure you're considering the size of appliances you want to put in and get that well mapped out.
Because you can dream bigger, and I would think towards the future rather than what's your capacity now, what's your capacity going to be, because by the time you're digging a trench and installing electrical or insulating a building or getting a zoning permit and going through that whole process, the size, it may be better to go ahead and just make it a little bit bigger than you think than to wish, I wish it was bigger.
Yeah. And you know something else, as I'm thinking about like wins or things that surprised me, something that surprised me more than I expected was how much people loved getting free eggs.
Yes, the giveaways.
The giveaways.
Huge perk.
I will never underestimate the power of a giveaway and how, one, it's exciting to give stuff away. I don't know if if you've never done a giveaway or just given something, you just imagine like, it's Christmas, you're giving a friend a good gift. Now imagine doing that 100 times over.
Right.
With something you know is quality, something you know is going to bless and help the person. I know the amount of work and effort we put into raising the chickens and the love and care that goes into that. And so I know when we're handing them a dozen eggs, like, these are high quality eggs and they're gonna be awesome. Right. So it's exciting and people want that. People are excited about that. So use it.
Right, and we did free samples throughout the season, so people wanted to taste the kombucha or taste some of the products. We tried to give people that sample, and you'll hear so many farm experts and influencers in the homesteading space say that when you give someone that free product, that free taste, they can't turn away. They have to get the product, and I think that's been true.
Yeah. I think something also, don't be too worried about like, oh, like, are people not gonna like this? Are they going to like this? The people that are gonna like it are gonna be the people who want your product. They're gonna be the people who want some fresh, farm to table, homegrown, quality produce that they can get their hands on from you and your farm. Because people are gonna wanna get to know you, and they're not gonna get so consumed or worried about all the ins and outs and all the decisions you're gonna have to wrestle with and make, but just focus on doing your best. You know your own farm, you know your own garden well, so grow things excellently, grow things well, and share it with people, and then let the word spread. Okay, so let's talk about some future opportunities as well. You've got a farm store, now what are you doing with it? So currently our farm store operates on a Monday through Friday schedule in the afternoons. So that leaves us, we started that specifically, so that leaves us with the opportunity to expand and grow, not to jump the gun, so to say, of like, oh, we're doing 7 days a week, or we're doing full 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We want to make sure that what we're doing well, and then we can increase and multiply on that. So if that looks like in the future, doing something on the weekend, or doing something earlier in the mornings for the early morning commuters, having something available for others. Be imaginative for yourself. Look at where you're located at. Look at what your customers are buying, what they're asking about, what they're interested in, and get creative. Maybe you throw an on-farm event and you do a home-cooked luncheon, or maybe you spend a day giving out farm tours, you know?
Right.
Letting people see where the food is actually coming from. Or maybe from that, you could do a teaching time or an instructional time to be able to go, hey, here's how you trellis green beans, or here's how you prune tomato plants. Give people an opportunity to get their hands on it. Don't underestimate the power of asking.
From a business standpoint, this is vertical integration. You already have the infrastructure, you're growing food, you have a store. So to find ways you can use your existing infrastructure to add other revenue streams,
right?
More ways to make money, but also when you're blessed, others are going to be blessed, because when we're doing well as a farm, we're able to try new things, grow new products, and it makes sense to naturally stack those enterprises. Our farm, we have the capacity with so many hands on deck to grow our enterprises. We can do these value-added products and try other things and figure out where our sweet spot is. But as you're getting started with your farm store, it wouldn't be wrong to just say, I grow great salad mix, and I'm gonna put a mini fridge for salad mix, and maybe the backyard chicken eggs, and that's a great starting point. We are poised, because of the way we built this out, to expand a variety of directions, whether we're doing a lot of farm to table dinners in the future, or if we were to need to go totally automated, like we have the capacity with the security camera system and the Square POS to turn on a kiosk mode. If we wanted to do that, we could have a self-service option, but we love interacting with our neighbors and having the farm store manned day to day. So I think looking at your specific situation and building around what you love to do and what people in your area will love to buy, right, those are great fundamental things to answer.
Another thing I want to talk about is finding other people that are running the same race you are. And this is something that was so helpful for me that I didn't realize getting into this, but I drew so much encouragement from, but that was finding other farmers and growers working in the area that we were able to learn from. So we had our friends over at Mayborn Acres who really helped us dial in our process for butchering all of our chickens. We had our friends over at Glory Gardens who gave us a lot of feedback on our packaging and how to create something that looks well and also is going to be functionally efficient. Or getting to see the operation over at Cherry Rock Farms here in Sioux Falls. Like all these different farms were all very unique and different in each of their enterprises, but were also willing to give and share their knowledge and their wisdom that's helped us along the way.
Right.
And so rather than feeling like you always have to figure out yourself, don't be afraid to hop on Google and search local farms near me and give somebody a ring. If you have your own farm or your own homestead, you already know how hard work it is, and put yourself in their shoes. If someone were to reach out and ask you for advice or help, I'm sure you'd do the same and ask them. So if you're feeling like you're stuck or in a rut, ask for help.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised the kind of response you would get. And not only that, I guarantee you're gonna be making some friends along the way.
The series is called Build Your Own Farm Store, but in many ways, you can't build anything without a community or a group of people coming around you to help you do it. So I think that that's a bit of a misnomer, because we love to be DIY, do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Self-sufficiency and independence, you
Making it happen.
Right, going off grid, I supply everything all on my own property, but in reality, someone may grow better eggs than you, someone might grow better vegetables than you, someone might be better and more advanced along than specific topics, and you can learn from them. You can learn from them, and you
Definitely.
can figure out what's the thing you want to do. And I love that we don't feel like we have to do everything here.
All right, so I'm sure a question you guys are wondering and asking yourselves as we've been going through this whole series is, Mason, what did this actually cost you? So we're gonna break down some of the numbers for you broadly, and I wanna be careful about being too specific or direct, because it's gonna be different depending on where you're at. So again, I don't have a direct spreadsheet of oh, this is exactly what it's gonna cost you. It's all gonna depend on where you get all your materials. If you choose to build yourself, if you choose to buy something prefabricated like we did.
Do you find it on Facebook Marketplace?
That's right.
Do you know someone who has heavy machinery?
That's right.
Those things make a big difference.
Make friends with heavy machinery. But to get to the purchases, we spent about $8,000 on the prefabricated shed.
That's a 12 by 20 from a local shed builder with delivery included.
This also included the proper window panes, the insulated bottoms, and
Insulated
the
door.
Insulated door. So all those things came out to about $8,000, which is great. The next larger, I would say, piece, we spent close to $9,000 renovating it. So that includes putting down the foundation, insulating, drywall, paint, all these different things that you need to consider when renovating a farm store shed. Came out to about $9,000.
So building materials, including the mini split, so that AC unit that we use to keep the facility cool or warm depending on the season, about $9,000.
And after that, and including putting in the electric, appliances, and everything else furnished, we spent around $30,000 on the project as a whole. So to get to finish, we spent $30,000 to get what you see in the store today.
And that included some of the marketing. I said we spent a few thousand for marketing. And so just be aware that that number did include what it took to get to the ribbon cutting.
So whatever it may look like for you, find what works.
Right.
Do check Facebook Marketplace, check Craigslist, find where you can get something secondhand, or maybe someone's liquidating their own services. You might find a great deal. We found a great deal on our freeze dryers. That was unexpected, but we were able to save money there.
And our inspiration cost about half that. And I know that just by talking with Dirk Tanner, and he has a video on his channel talking about how much his farm store cost, but it was not insulated, and there's other factors. So just thinking through what it's gonna take to know that you may have a smaller farm store, and whether you make it insulated or non-insulated, whether you have refrigeration or it's just roadside, it's gonna vary so widely, but we knew this was the right fit for us, and we wish we built it bigger. One last thing is that you should also think about the costs that are separate from just the financial costs. If you only have so much capacity and you can't man a farm store, or maybe you're still stretched thin just running your family life, day-to-day life, your career, your children, and the gardens, this may not be an opportunity that's worth the extra effort. You may have the funds at hand to build a farm store, but maintaining it does take time. We're constantly cleaning the floors, restocking, checking inventory. It does add a level of management that you have to keep in mind that is a total cost factor, more than just the money.
So do the math for yourself, find what is gonna work for your enterprise or your farm or whatever it may look like, and make the right call. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us with the Build Your Own Farm Store series. We are so glad that you joined us for this whole time, getting to hear our story and our journey. We're excited for what you are gonna get into yourselves. I know we learned a lot along the way, and so I'm hoping that this series helps clear up and makes things a little smoother for you, and that maybe you can learn from some of our mistakes and some of our wins to be able to apply to your farm. Remember, this isn't a cookie cutter, this isn't the professional step-by-step how-to, but this is just the best way we can give a general guide to saying, hey, here's what you can do to start for what works for your farm and your homestead. So we're so excited. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. We would love to answer them and interact with you as well. And if you're interested in more content, please subscribe. We're gonna continue to put out more content in the future, all around farming, homesteading, and surrounding topics.
We were able to put together the How to Build Your Own Farm Store series based off of the funding we received from SARE. We talked about that a bit earlier in the video series, but sustainable agriculture, research, and education grants are all over the country, and you can look into them. We'll put a link in the description for you to contact your regional coordinator and learn about opportunities where you can do on-farm research and try ideas out in a way that's actually funded by the United States Department of Agriculture.
That's right. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us for the Build Your Own Farm Store series. We're looking forward to the next one, and we'll see you there.